Welcome back. One movie brings some old characters back to the big screen in the second installment of a film that may have you questioning the allegiance of the first flick. Here's ABC's Columbia's movie reviewer, Matt Perrone.
Welcome to another Monday. For the third week in a row, Zootopia remains untouchable at the box office. But our second place winner is a new release that falls into that ever-popular category of teen fiction. Allegiant is the third in the Divergent series, but it follows the recent trend of breaking a book into two movies. So we're going to have to wait until next year to see the actual conclusion of the series. But for now, here's my take on the movie adaptation of Allegiant. Our movie begins soon after the events of Insurgent. With Janine dead, Evelyn, played by Naomi Watts, has taken self-appointed control over the city of Chicago. Even with the message that there are people outside the wall willing to welcome them, Evelyn has forbid anyone from leaving the city, disbanded the factions, and started trials and executions of the people previously responsible for the chaos. Knowing that they have to get beyond the wall, Triss, played by Shailene Woodley, and her core group of friends plan and execute an escape from the city. Upon making it outside the wall, they discover that there is indeed something out there. They discover the Bureau and learn the history of civilization's downfall. They discover that war was waged between genetically modified humans and those of pure genotypes. The city of Chicago was formed by a group of pure scientists trying to put people in a safe environment to allow them to evolve back to pre-genetic modification. Triss is the single individual who has accomplished this. They want to study Triss to see how this occurred. Meanwhile, the other members of her group are put in positions that they seem most suited to. As the movie progresses, we see that everything may not be as perfect as it seems. All of the players begin to discover their own secrets that lead them to believe that this new environment may not be all that it seems. Back in Chicago, war is brewing between liberated groups for control of the city, and the results of this would be catastrophic. Triss is forced to make several difficult decisions revolving around family, love, and a general sense of what is right and wrong. She needs to figure out where her loyalties lie, and hopefully before humanity collapses around her. So it's always a little hard to review these types of movies. Anytime you split a book into multiple movies, there are bound to be some disappointed people, but I guess it is what it is. I have to say right off the bat that I haven't read this series of books, so I'm not knowledgeable in the book-to-movie comparisons, but I will say when I was walking out, there was a group of teenagers complaining about the consistency of it, so I'm guessing it's not up to par. But that being said, as a movie, I found it really enjoyable. What I do like about this series of films is how they pick up exactly where the previous one left off. What I did find interesting is that since it was split into two, I was expecting a major cliffhanger at the end leading up to the second one. But if I hadn't known that it was a book split into two, then I would have thought this was a complete movie. I mean, when the second one ended, you were left anxious waiting for the events of this one. But when this one ends, you're not really upset that it ends when it does. I really don't know how to explain it. I guess maybe it just wasn't cliffhangery enough? All the actors put in the performance you're hoping them to, but I have to say, you just have to imagine that Miles Teller, who plays Peter, is just a great actor because you spend half the movie really enjoying him and the other half completely hating him. Listen, if you've seen the first two movies, then you're definitely going to want to continue it with this one. If you skip the first two, then there's no reason for you to pick up here. This has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Matt. And still one more installment to go, so we haven't seen the last of it yet. Your 7-day outlook coming up next, live from Main and Gervais.